Hey everyone, welcome to a Tuesday Newsday on a Monday with my best friend Sinzar. What's up, Sinzar?
I am so excited for this week. It is tons of content and very meta.
Mm, mm. So like sarcasm travels poorly, I guess. Like, were you sincere? No.
Uh, I'm sure I'm sincere for somebody, just not myself.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's obviously Final Fantasy 8 banner. We expected this. You mentioned this last week as well. It's the next step, and I want to say like I really like Final Fantasy 8. It's my second favorite Final Fantasy probably. I care very little for Laguna though. And Kiros and Ward. Like I do not give a shit.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm surprised to hear that. I really liked Laguna. I thought he was awesome in Final Fantasy VIII. I agree with you on Kiros and Ward. I'm not their biggest fans. I didn't love Kiros. I thought he was like very judgy against Laguna,
yeah.
and Ward was like just like a background character that didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
they were literally like the comedy pair.
Yeah.
But you know what the problem was? My problem was that I was enjoying Final Fantasy VIII's main story so much, and Laguna is part of it. Like you need to understand Laguna's story to understand the Final Fantasy VIII story. But it was kind of like it was like reading a book, and then there is this chapter about a character. Like you want the story to progress, but all of a sudden you have to like play this other thing, and that was I think why I don't like Laguna that much because he took away from what I wanted to play, if that makes sense.
That is true, I guess. For me, the whole thing, I don't know, the whole Laguna and Rain story was so sad at the end, but I thought it was
Yeah.
like really touching.
No, it
But
is. It is. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. I just don't have that connection to Laguna, like in that sense. Like I just don't have it, unfortunately. But I'm
yeah,
definitely gonna pull for it still. Like from what I understand and what you told me last week, they're gonna give us more power for Squall. So
it does. Yes, his TMR gives 500 flat attack to Squall, and his Vision card gives another 500 flat attack to Squall. So if you want your Omega Exodia Squall, then pulling for Laguna is a must.
right. So this is actually a question here. So I saw that we're getting a raid this week as well, right? Are we gonna
Mhm.
get any TMR Moogles for Laguna and Kiros and Ward in the raid? Do you know? Did that come yet?
Uh that's a good question. Probably there should be, but I couldn't tell you with authority. I don't know.
Nice, because I do have a crystal, so I could get his TMR if
Oh
they
man,
if the
you
TMR
you
Moogles drop.
you going all in on Squall. That's a really hyper specific material that is good for one unit in the
Yeah, but
game.
that's what I did. I did the same for Graph. I made sure I had two ID and two Graph TMRs as well, just so I can gear both Graph and Fae with them. So this is my last Moogle though. This is the last empty Moogle that I have. So, but I might use it for this definitely. Okay, but so we've already started talking about the units. Let's talk about them. So what is? Oh no, he's an SLB unit.
Oh, Laguna.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is following the trend of copy paste. He is
No.
Yes, he is the water version of Tulian Edge Axstar Reagan.
Oh, but I
He's
need to
water.
pull this unit. God damn
He,
it.
it's an underwhelming breaker. Unfortunately, as much as I like him from Final Fantasy VIII, I do not like his Brave Exvius version.
Yeah. Well, at least his STMR seems pretty fucking decent though.
It is. It's a two-handed gun, very powerful. The thing I'd question is who's using two-handed guns anymore. We've kind of left that meta behind.
Yeah, I guess.
Even Laura Croft doesn't even use her own gun anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, like this could make it so that you would. Well, okay, Lara is a bad example because she can also cap LB, but this is like a Black Sparky upgrade because it's 220 attack, 100% LB damage, and also a 75% Dragon Killer. So it's really good for units that don't naturally cap LB damage and can use guns. So
Absolutely,
I mean,
it's
like
very powerful.
and again, like if you don't have like new Fina, I actually just shitted her. That was actually a very pleasant surprise from a 10 out of 10 ticket. I've never gotten a good unit from that before.
That was
But
really
like
good.
if you don't have her, if you don't have any of the other big imperilers and weapon imperilers, then I mean Louise might still be your best choice, and this would be great for any player using
And
Louise a lot.
and I mean, that could give you a reason to bring Laguna because Laguna also brings 35% gun and barrel, same as
Oh,
Louise.
okay, yeah. Well, that's nice. That's nice.
Mhm.
So it is good. Like that. That's actually this is like if you get Laguna, this is going to be one of those bonuses of actually getting into EX2 or moogling him as I would probably do because we have so many. Um, to just like this is a good weapon. This is a good weapon.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise not much to say, right? Copy paste. So it's a decent breaker with heavy water support basically.
Yeah, it's the same thing we've said before. As long as Dark Visions remains at 0% passive stats, then 88% breakers just don't really have a place,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Would you ever see like anyone bringing this unit to cow? We're gonna talk about that later, but spoiler: water is one of the elements. Like, would you see someone bringing Laguna to cow?
It really depends on the boss's resistance. If they decide to go for something like instead of being weak to water, I think there was a cow that had really high across the board. Like if his base resist is at like 110 or something, and you have to rely on strong imperils to deal damage, that would give a place to units like Laguna, who has a 145% water imperil, because the boss's innate resistance is so high, which means when you're
Right.
going from when you're going from negative 120 to negative 130, that's minor. When you're going from like, I don't know, negative 20 to negative 30, that's like a 50% damage jump.
Yeah.
So it's huge if they have high base resistances.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a very good point. Actually, that's a very good point. But I mean, that's really true for all of the element buffers or all of the element breakers. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in that like they might have this place when you need this really big and chunky imperil.
And
I guess like for water, it's a tough sell because we also have Cacteria, who's also a very competent breaker and even has. I don't know. Would you say she still has cow damage? Like if you really stretch it.
you mean for like actual dealing damage? No, her cow damage. It got buffed. Even when it was buffed, it was bad then, and that was what 5 months ago.
Yeah, I remember actually trying to use her on one of my clears. This cow that just passed, and I was so disappointed with the numbers that I saw. I expected so much. Like I expected more. I did not expect much more. I just expected like damage, but it was so low compared to
Mhm.
the people actually doing damage. Okay, but I guess not much more to say. And then we also have Kiros and Ward. So they seem to be, let me guess. Okay, tag chainer, right?
Yes.
And SLB unit. Okay, so what is this unit? Is it good? What's about it?
Not really on global. The thing in JP that made them have like a little bit of a place is they have okayish tag chaining damage, and JP had never had a tag chainer that did relevant damage because tag
Mm,
chains are always like 5 mod, and JP just worthless.
right.
Um, so they were the first ones that their LB is 300x modifier, which is not premium, but that's on par for non-premium units,
Oh,
Dorgan,
and
etc.
that's the tag chaining LB. So it's
It's a tag
actually
chain.
a very strong tag chain then.
Yep. The downside is we literally just had Roberta, and she's a
Yeah.
better tag chainer.
Is she?
So,
Oh, so she's. Oh, okay.
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
just expected,
Roberta.
300x. That sounds huge, though.
It is, and I do think that they slightly outdamage Roberta, in as terms of raw damage, because you can scale LB better than just plain old tagging.
Yeah.
And Dark Bark and Clash of Wills, obviously Roberta
Yeah,
blows
of
them
course,
away.
of
But
course.
in Dark Visions, yeah, but Roberta's tag chain in Dark Visions is still respectable. And the reason I would personally give the edge to Roberta is Kiros and Ward's tag chain is triple bolting, which is fine and all. It's a little bit of a short chain, whereas Roberta's chain is a 64 hit, very long chain. So it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to use her as like a big tag chainer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, triple bolting strike can actually give you some problems with some units, or at
Mhm.
least make it a bit tricky, especially if you're on macroing. Like, for instance, weaving Tifa into it can be tricky. It is a very short chain. Um,
Mhm.
okay, nice. But I mean, it's still kind of like this niche unit that could be very useful when you just have one slot and you really need a chainer and you can't really fit it in any other way. And now this is a chainer that actually does damage. I mean, again,
Mhm. Yeah.
not premium level damage, but still damage. And unfortunately, it's waterlocked. But again, that doesn't matter for us in DV. So,
Mhm.
do they bring their own support at least for like water?
Well, they have a water imperil of 120%, and they have the one use Magnus for Oh, actually, looking at their kit on the JP server, they don't have any amplify whatsoever, none at all.
Okay.
That being said, I mean, if you're doing a water team, you probably have a water amp on the party somewhere.
Yeah, but you might
But
not. Like, you might be bringing these just for chaining. And
Oh,
yeah, like you're actually doing a holy team, right? But you're bringing these guys in to just chain, and that just chain and do like decent damage. So like that's what I liked with Olivera, because Olivera as a tag chainer, well, now his damage is relevant anymore, but as a tag chainer, he still had everything he needed to make his damage decent, right? Like he had a 50% amp as well as big imperil. But that's a shame. Oh well,
oh
it is
well.
what it is. So, can you explain why they have like a super their STMR is a two-handed dagger that's pretty
Oh,
strong. Why is their TMR a fucking spear with defense?
well, they have like tanking abilities in their kit, kind of like the original Esther did, where like they can kind of sort of qualify as a tank, but not really. Honestly, they're not a tank by any stretch of the imagination. But it's like
SLB
that.
unit like that feels really hard to pull off. Like you can. I mean, I get it with the shifts, right? But like,
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
the whole thing is like Ward is supposed to be the tank and Kiros the DPS. So the STMR is for Kiros, the TMR is for the tanking Ward. But like you said, for an SLB unit, that just doesn't work.
Yeah, it seems like they would have been better than if they were a tank in one form and DPS in another, I would say. But okay.
Exactly. Much better.
Odd. All right, and then we also got Cell to as an NVA. So how is Cell?
Completely honest, I don't know.
Oh.
I never used him in JP. Never even looked at his. Okay, let me rephrase. I looked at his wiki page and got visual cancer. It's one of those wiki pages you just can't read. So I don't know what this dude does. One day I'll sit down and try to figure it out. But he's one of those like, what's that Photon Core girl from Halloween? From Halloween, what's that global exclusive unit?
Oh, the one with the gun.
Her name. Yeah, that she has the crazy kit that no one understood. Well,
Okay,
Zell's the same way.
Chat, help. Red Ash is typing.
I can't think of her name. Oh my god. Godria.
Yes, Godria. Yes, okay. Okay, weird. Yeah, he seems to be, well, at least from looking at the news, seems to be a water damage dealer that's dual wield. And his fist also gets a Chronicle upgrade, right?
We actually already have that on the global server. It's just a plain old from the Maul King. Yeah, the Maul King gives it an upgrade. It's still a one-hander though. So if you're gonna really use Zell, you're gonna probably force two-handed anyway.
Okay. And he's an SLB unit. And his SLB seems to be a bit weird. It seems to be an defensive break, as well as imperil for all elements. But then it does water damage, and then it boosts damage of his ability. So it sounds like the SLB is actually set up for another move.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen that many clears with Cell from JP, honestly, so I'm just not gonna assume he's fantastic. But yeah.
Yeah, I basically he's gonna be a bonus unit this week, and then he's gonna go into the vault.
Yeah. I guess yes. Well, at least we have a lot of cells, so it's easy to NVA him. All right, and then we have we should maybe say something about the cards. You already mentioned that Laguna's card gives 500 attack to a Final Fantasy 8 unit, so that's why you would want to put it on Squall. It has weak base attack, unfortunately. It's 100 only.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to just use this on Final Fantasy 8 units. Otherwise, there's way better cards out there. Like even just Ling's card is way better for non-Final Fantasy 8s.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting to bring up here is that this is actually they share the card, so it's both Kiros and Ward and Laguna. So if you're like me and you're gunning for Squall, you don't really care which one of the MVs you pull, because that's going to give you the card if there are TMR Moogles in the raid shop or in the pool, raid pool.
Correct.
Because that would be really good. Then you can just Moogle the TMR anyway, and you get the card. So I'm really hoping for that. I'm really hoping to be able to make Squall a go-to character for me in DV. Even though I know he's not the strongest, it will still be very fun.
Well, Squall is actually pretty decent. He's kind of comparable to Titus a little bit. I heard y'all talk about that on the podcast, and he's if you've got all the toys for him and STMRs, Tybus's materia, etc., he's respectable.
Yeah, we were me and Dream. We were wondering if you actually listened to the podcast, and I guess like you do at least listen to some of it. Nice.
I listen to it every single week. Every week I listen to it.
Nice. Yeah, we did. We were talking about that, and yeah, like Titus can have, but it's really like depends on can you use water, can you not, and like how much do stats matter, and so on. But But yeah, no, I know Squall is good, so that's why like it's going to be nice actually bringing someone that's decent to a DV team that's like not like Oliveira, which is just there for fun. So yeah. But okay, that's really good. I wonder if the raid page can actually tell us if there are Moogles in the raid summon.
I doubt it, but maybe.
It doesn't say much. It does say like event limited equipment and abilities and super trust Moogle exchange tickets, King Medal. Yeah, it says it what it always says. So I guess we're gonna have to see when it goes live. All right, so one big thing I guess this week is also that we're getting the EX battle, the Chronicle battle. That's actually a boss. We're fighting Fujin and Raijin. So, and this is where we also can get another mystery crystal, and is one of those 5 turns, party of 4 or less clear. So what can you tell us about this one? Was this difficult on JP? How was it?
It depends if you have Final Fantasy VIII units. On JP, I did not have enough Squalls to Neo Visions Awakening him. I didn't have Zell saved up because we didn't know about it in advance. I didn't pull for Renoa or Laguna. So I had literally no one I could use. So I couldn't do this battle until I off-bannered Renoa like weeks later. Once I did that, it was super easy. So as long as you've got a Neo Visions Final Fantasy VIII DPS, not a problem. Neo Visions Awaken Squall carries it. No problem.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't have him in JP, so I couldn't do it.
Oh, all right. So anyone that has a EX3 Squall should be able to do this within 5 turns then.
Oh, super easy.
Yeah. All right. But I guess like there are some other challenges here, right? Like you might not have a tank. There is no tank in the Final Fantasy VIII lineup except Kiros and Ward, right?
By memory, I think like evade provoker and a resist buff is all you need. So
okay.
It's pretty easy as far as survival goes. The only thing is you just do it in 5 turns without Neo Visions DPS is like a big no.
Oh, but I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to doing a couple of Squall LBs on this. Maybe I don't even have to do a couple. Maybe it's just enough with his SLB. But this I look forward to then to gear a Final Fantasy VIII team. I mean, I have all Final Fantasy VIII units except for the MVs. I did not get any Renoas, unfortunately. I did a pull today, although there are 2 more daily pulls left. So who knows? Anything can happen. And I guess we should also maybe talk a bit about the ability upgrades that we got. So Gun Mastery is very weirdly upgraded to all stats 50% instead of just attack 50%. I guess that's for all the gun tanks, and it goes up to 100.
Well, it's the same as all the weapon masteries. Katana Mastery, Sword Mastery, Fist Mastery. Right. They've all gotten the same upgrades. It's just the next one down the list. Now it's Gun.
So I guess a lot of units like Prompto and Nameless Gunner Jake and Balthier that we care 0 for are getting some upgrades, I guess, right? So I guess there's that.
But where's the upgrades we care about?
Yeah, where's the upgrades we care about? Yeah, that's true. Oh well, it is what it is. So yeah, let's take a final few minutes to just talk about the next cow, because we did hear what it's gonna be, and DV and cow. So first of all, DV, we have seems to be a bird with fire dark resistance, right? Magic. So who are you bringing to that?
Well, it's magical dark, so Dark Rain for me. I actually do have Dark Rain, so that'll. Actually, I also have Renoa, so I'm gonna bring her too. So two Dark Mages.
Nice.
I'm ready.
Nice.
Fire. We've got Terra. We've got Roberta as a fire mage.
Terra. I'm definitely bringing Terra to this, like fully amped out of her ass with all the summoner amps, I guess. You have Oliveira too for dark.
Oh, there's another. Yeah, I've got a bunch of dark and fire mages, so this one's going to be pretty simple.
Yeah. Okay, nice. And then the physical fight is water and wind. So I guess your Aurons are obviously going in there, and for water, I mean, obviously people are going to bring Titus, but I feel like we had a recent very strong water damage dealer. No?
You're forgetting Tifa, the original premium.
I am forgetting Tifa. And that's true, actually.
She's still relevant. She's still around.
I mean, she's still very strong, actually, when it comes to water. So it's actually, that's going to be pretty good. Yeah, I mean, well, and obviously for physical, you're also bringing your graphs and esters and Robertas and so on
Hmm.
that you can imbue. But yeah, this one. So this one should be a cakewalk. I feel like the physical one is going to be a cakewalk for most people to cap.
It
Uh,
usually is.
yeah, and then of course, as usual, it's a beast human final boss, but with no elemental weaknesses, so you can bring whoever the fuck you want.
Yeah, this is Dark Odin. And also, I would draw your attention to the fact that for the first time on Global, they are not removing the JP field. It is going to be active for the first time.
Oh, what does that mean?
If you look right here, the second line at the
Yeah,
beginning of battle, it activates an area effects. Okay, so you know the fields on like the Genie fight, the Sandworm fight, the Behemoth fight.
yeah,
These are permanent battleground fields. They can't be removed. They stack with literally every other field.
okay,
Um, JP has been doing these forever. Global has always removed them.
okay.
This is one apparently they're not removing. So this field is a 300% buff to LB damage, and
Whoa.
it stacks with everything. So
So fuck you, Kane and Roberta, or what?
yes, that basically means the Dragoons are getting the middle finger. And as people have been talking about in the Discord, almost certainly 99.9% the reason they're doing this is they want to find a way to shut down the Golden Riser strategy. And this is an easy way to do it without directly nerfing Riser, which they can't really
Oh,
do. But they can indirectly nerf Riser by just leaving the JP field in this time. So shame on everyone for having fun with Riser.
yeah.
Gumi does not like Riser competing with their
Well,
premium units.
you know, to in Gumi's defense, normally I shit on Gumi and it's fucking well deserved. But in their defense, like I think Riser is too powerful. Like I know I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but I think that as a free unit and um, as a cheesy strat, I think it has too much power, and I don't
Probably,
think.
it probably does. Like I don't disagree with you, and I understand why they're kind of losing their mind that a free unit is competing with their money makers.
Right.
It still feels bad because for me, I'm getting EX3 Kane in like 6 days from the
Yeah.
login tickets. I'm about to get EX3 Kane, and all of a sudden, oh, I can't use him. I mean, I can use him, but he's going to be like working off a severe penalty compared to LB units,
I
and
mean,
it
same
sucks.
for me with Roberta. You know me, and you know me about Roberta. So of course I would want to bring my Roberta to be jumping here, but she's gonna get such a huge. Like, I mean, LB units are probably gonna do like twice their damage. Well, no, sorry, not twice their damage, but they're gonna be doing what, 50%
A,
more in
a
comparison.
lot more.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're gonna be doing 50% more damage out of the gate, assuming you have a 300% LB buff and 300% LB increase. Um, Wow. I mean, that's going to be hard to compete with. I mean, Roberta's probably going to do decent damage, but she's probably going to do less than units like Squall and Titus that you could bring instead, which makes me sad. I would really want to bring Roberta. There has to be another way of nerfing Riser with this. Like, can they make it so that because I think that the biggest power with Riser is the cheesy Bulwark strat. So they could just, do something that he doesn't activate on that ability. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how the game mechanics work, but maybe there's something like that they could do.
Hmm. Yeah,
Because
maybe.
I do understand it. I do understand that there are people, that really like units, and then like their favorite units get power crept by this free unit that's used in this very cheesy way. And I know that a lot of people are having fun with that, and they should be able to have fun with it, but maybe not at like the very top level of the game. Is kind of my opinion. And I'm gonna get flamed for this, but it's okay. I stand
Yeah.
by my opinion. Okay, that's a shame, but I guess it gives me more reason to bring Squall. And I might still bring Roberta because she's such a fucking amazing unit that has so much in her kit that she might be she might be useful anyway. But yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so and then let's just quickly say something about Clash of Wills. So it's a fairy dragon. That's a weird combo. Do we have any unit that brings both of those on their own? No, right?
At the same time, I don't think so. We've got Roberta for Dragon, and for Fairy, we've got Bulwark. So
Yeah, true. And it's a dark state. Like dark is one of the elements. It's water, ice, and dark. So Bulwark, of course, has both ice and dark. That's nice. So I guess like that could be a team with
and if
Roberta and
and
Bulwark.
and if you bring Roberta, you can also do Ice, and Bulwark can imbue the Ice, and his Amplify is not that good,
Wait,
but
Bulwark can imbue ice as well?
yeah, he has Ice, Wind,
Oh,
and Dark.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that's really good because Roberta has 45%. So the only thing you're lacking is a field, I guess.
You can bring Frievia. Not.
Yeah, I would love
I'm
to.
kidding.
I would love to, but yeah. Well, I'm guessing this. We still don't know. So like the precedent so far, or at least for the past two cows, has been that, or especially the last one, is that morale is really difficult. Like morale is super difficult if you don't have Chow. So I wonder if that's going to be the case here again, because if it is, then of course Frievia is very useful.
It could be, but if you read the fine print, it says the boss reduces your party's ability to evade attacks, meaning it sounds like physical damage is going to be a factor. And if the boss is a heavy hitting physical unit that you can't evade, that makes it a whole lot harder to take advantage of Chow. Like, he can tank physical damage, but there's definitely a point where the physical damage becomes untankable by
Yeah,
Chow.
but you do have Behemi then. So like Behemi
Yeah, well,
also has counters for morale.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. His counter
Wait,
is literally capped at 1 per turn. It is a hard cap.
Oh, it is. I did not know that. Oh, okay. So okay. Well, interesting. I mean, I am all for turning cow battles more into a tug of war. I'm all for that. Like, you will have me sign up for voting for that every time, because I do think that's an interesting thing. It should not just be, oh, you used Kresnik's I forget what it's called.
Arcane stimulant.
Yeah, arcane stimulant, and you're good basically, right? Like by turn 5, you have full morale. I really think it should be tug of war.
Yeah, I gotta be honest here. I'm really happy that, assuming this is what they're talking about, that they're like nerfing Chow, because Chow is out of control. He really is.
Yeah.
Chow completely ruined the current Clash of Wills because they had to balance it around Chow, which means you basically had Chow on almost every rank 1 clear. Now, I do know that Wanderer did like a riser strategy that got rank 1 without Chow, so it is possible. But
yeah, but that's another unit they want to nerf. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like I did not like every or almost every rank 1 strategy requiring Chow, because so many viewers kept asking me, please show a rank 1 without Chow, and I'm just like, I'd love to. I just can't.
Yeah. No, but I think this is good. It also gives people that pulled Maeve and to use her as well. Like, she hasn't had that much space in the spotlight recently, so she can definitely be used here as a physical tank if we are going to need those. And again, I'm just happy if we can use Behemi. I love Behemi as a unit, so I would love to bring him instead.
Maeve has Dragon Killer and Dragon Mitigation, doesn't she? It's Dragon and Beast, right, for Maeve?
Yes, I want to say. I'm not an expert on Maeve. I never pulled her, so I'm not that good at her kid. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So
nice.
Although if you're bringing Roberta, you're gonna have some Dragon Mitigation anyway. I guess Fairy is the one that's hard to come by.
And you're definitely going to bring Roberta. Even if you go off element, Roberta is still one of the highest Clash damage dealers right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So. I mean, Roberta and Sky are probably going to come. Like, is Lara? Yeah, probably. So this is, well, I mean, again, I'm saying that now, but last cow, I had to bring none of those units because I did not have Chow. So I had to do a clear with non-cow DPS. That actually worked out pretty well. I still have a fairly high score. That's funny. But that's what it is, I guess.
And actually, Laura Croft didn't show up on too many top teams this month, which was surprising. She's starting to fade away a little bit.
Yeah, who are people using for? Well, I guess again, it's cow, so it has passive stats. So the 90% imperil isn't, or the 90% break isn't that important, I guess.
Yeah, it's a very small jump over Sky's 87.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, all right, but very fun. It's going to be very fun to see what this Clash of Wills is. It's like 3 weeks left, right, or something, until 4.
Oh, the next Clash of Wills, yeah, it'll most likely be at the end of the month. So this is still a ways off.
Yeah, but I can't wait. I mean, Clash is still some of my favorite content. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we did everything now, right? Did we miss anything?
Not really. We talked a long time for not much content, but yeah, it's fun to talk about it.
Yeah, we did talk too long about units that nobody cares about and no content at all. Well, there is the EX battle. I'm actually hyped for that. I still like those trial-ish battles. I'm still gonna enjoy building a team that's gonna crush it. So I can't wait.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yep. All right, well done. Thanks everyone that came and chilling this week. Thanks, Sinzar.
See you later.
See ya.